Hi, I'm Sam and I'm from Say What. We are a marketing and communications agency specializing in PR, events. We also do a lot of creative brand development, so that includes websites, logo design. And we really, though, outside of all of that stuff, the one thing that we are really, really good at is being storytellers. We are content generators, project managers, dream chasers, and in fact, the fact that I say we are dream chasers actually brings me to my point that the last time that I spoke to KZN Women in Business, one of the things that I brought up was the fact that our agency's dream is to make sure that there's no brand that ever goes unbranded or unheard ever. And it really convicted me. As I said that statement out loud and we put it out on the internet, I realized, gee, Sam, what are you doing about that? If that is your dream, what is it that you are going to do to make that a reality? And so very shortly afterwards, in March last year, March of 2020, we decided to pilot a program called Brand Tina, which means Brand Us, and partnered with a company called in Johannesburg, where they are an online platform specifically for home professionals. So for example, if you're looking for a tiler or an electrician, you would go onto Candua's website and you would go and source your tiler or electrician from that website. And so they gave us 5 professionals that we could work with who were unbranded. So they were great at what they did. They had the skill, however, they had no marketing to back them up. And so we partnered with them, we did brand workshops with these guys, and then we sought out one of Durban's most sought after agencies, 13th Floor, and said, hey, would you be interested in branding these guys and making a difference and shifting their lives and their businesses? And 13th Floor were absolutely on board. And so what we were able to do from there was actually create something magical. We were able to give these guys a logo that came out of the workshop. They were able to get social media posts and an all-important business card. And from that, we really realized how important a brand is. We always knew, we in the marketing space, of course, but we realized that a brand can do so much more for a business than you could ever have dreamed of. So creating this brand for these guys does a whole lot of things. It is, first of all, makes them more credible. So they appear to be more professional in front of their potential customers. It provides them the opportunity to foster trust with their potential customer. It generates more customers. It offers incredible business value, just makes their business overall more valuable, and it distinguishes them, which is really important, between them and somebody else. So this really was a wonderful opportunity to just shift some lives. So I don't think there's anybody that hasn't experienced challenges, whether in your lifetime, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your career, whether it is in the business that you own. Every single human encounters a struggle. There's a company that I worked for that used to call it the Dream Struggle Prize. You have this big dream, you've got to go through the struggle in order to get the prize. There's never a dream without a prize. And so for us, one of the most pertinent times in our life was probably 11 years ago when my husband and I decided to move to Durban. There was a business opportunity for him. I was freelancing from home as a copywriter because I had a small baby at the time, and we were in our early 30s, and we realized, go big or go home. So still young enough to take big risks, and if all else fails, we'll be okay. The reality is, though, that we didn't realize that all else would fail. And so we got here, we moved our entire family here, all 5 of us, and used all of our savings, all of our safety net in order to get to Durban. And not even 3 months later, my husband was without a salary and income. Our savings were depleted, and I was earning a very minuscule money from my freelancing. And before I looked again, the freelancing had also dried up. And so we were, for the first time in our lives, stuck. And I remember one day specifically, we looked in our cupboards and we had just cornflakes, dry cornflakes, no milk, no bread, no food, and 2-minute noodles. And we had to send our children to school at the time with lunches, even though they were in preschool. And so I gave them dry cornflakes for breakfast, and for lunch I sort of made them their 2-minute noodles and packed it in their lunch boxes and hoped for the best. And we drove them to school on the smell of an oil rag, and I looked at the principal in the eye and I said, oh my word, we don't have money for school fees, I'm so sorry, we'll pay when we can. And she was super kind, and I drove home and cried all the way home and said, I don't know what we're going to feed these children. And obviously I prayed, and I was just like, Lord Jesus, you need to help us, we don't know what we're going to feed the kids. And such a beautiful story. I got a phone call to say from the principal to say that somebody had come in and said that they would pay our children's school fees. Had they been paid, and they'd like to pay for the school fees. And so we had a good old cry and were very grateful, and so they paid, but I was like, I still don't know what I'm going to pay, what I'm going to feed my children when they get home. I went and fetched the children from school, and there was an envelope, and I was very grateful. I thought, hopefully this is from the donor that had paid for the school fees, and in fact it was a 3,000 rand gift voucher for Woolworths. And I just cried, and I think that it was such a turning point in our journey, because when you come from much, when you grow up and you have you have a privileged life, and you have everything you need, you have a roof over your head, you don't realize that this is what people go through every day, and we were those people going through it. We didn't know where our next meal came from, and we're just so grateful that we were able to obviously feed our children. And going from there, the church got involved and they helped us. And I think it's very easy to get stuck in that victim mentality, like really, really easy to just go, actually life sucks. Like, you can't get a job, I can't get a job, like life just sucks. We've got these 3 little mouths to feed. And it's easy to become just okay with people giving you handouts, and that's not okay, ever. So from there, we decided to, we looked for jobs, and we picked ourselves up, and we, for the first time, did our dream sheet. My husband and I, we sat and did a dream sheet together, and it was life-changing. We put in that we needed all the medical aid, and we needed another car because we had to sell our car, and so we put all these things onto this dream sheet, and we worked towards it. And so that's why I'm such a massive advocate for dreams and having big dreams, because I think if you don't have dreams, you're on one track to nowhere. You need to have these big dreams to drive you. And so there was the struggle. We had the dream again, we had the struggle, we had to push through it. I found a beautiful job, and I went back into corporate, which I was very grateful for, and my husband found a job, and things got better. But I think that was such a defining moment in my life. I realized that struggles don't define you. Struggles are not who you are. Struggles are just a stepping block to your next place, which is the prize. And if it's not easy, then, or if it is easy, it's not worth it. Like, I feel like everything in life, you appreciate so much more when you've put in the work, you've done what you need to do, you've gone through the struggle, the prize feels just all the more sweeter. So my advice to you is, if you are in a place where you've got this massive dream and you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to open your own business, you want to live a life that is different from the life you're living right now, I just would like to encourage you and to ask you to be kind to yourself and just start. Don't think about how much cash you need. Do not think about, the world tells you that you need cash flow, they tell you you need a business plan, they tell you you need marketing. Yes, those things are important, but more than all of that, you just need to start. You need to start somewhere. I started my business with nothing more than 5,000 Rand for my laptop and a whole lot of courage and determination. I did not have marketing. And I'm going to tell you guys a secret. To this day, I have done probably 40 websites for 40 different clients over the last 2 years, and yet we still don't have a website. And I'm not telling you that to be braggy, because it's slightly embarrassing. But the point is that every single client that we have got has been through word of mouth, and it's been through referral marketing. So if you can do what you say you're going to do, be a person of your word, be a woman of your word, be a woman of integrity, and just start your business, do what you say you're going to do, you will be successful. All those other things will just fall into place. Your marketing will fall into place, your business plan will fall into place, and certainly the capital will too.